Borderlands 2 was one of the best games to come out last generation that made fans constantly ask Gearbox Software about a sequel that had mixed reception in terms of the story, whereas Borderlands 2 remains a crowning achievement in narrative satire because of the outstanding antagonist, Handsome Jack. However, we're not here to analyze Jack, as you probably already predicted from the title of this video. There are already plenty of videos analyzing Jack, from his borderline personality disorder to him actually being the anti-hero or hero of Borderlands. It really depends on your own perspective. Today, we're here to talk about Easter eggs, and before you ask why I'm starting with Borderlands 2 instead of 1, well, my copy of Borderlands 1 doesn't work anymore, and having to purchase a new copy at the moment isn't in the cards with everything that's going on. So I'll start with this game and move on from there. Now, this video won't contain every single Easter egg and reference because I know I've missed some, despite me doing dozens of hours of research, and I mean dozens of hours because there are a lot of references in this game. And even looking up YouTube videos, there are several YouTube videos that claim to have every Easter egg found, and they are missing some. So, you know, better to be safe than sorry and cover all your bases, right? Also, remember to like, comment, and subscribe, as it does help me out a lot and allows these videos to spread further into the ever-changing landscape known as the YouTube algorithm. So the first Easter egg we're going to look at is a DLC Easter egg, because why the hell not? It's from Mr. Torque's Campaign of Carnage. When you reach the first area and kill all the chefs, the main mini-boss will show up, Chef Gouda Ramsay, who is a parody of Chef Gordon Ramsay. Later on in the DLC, you'll face two more bosses. The first one is William of Wormwater, which is a reference to the first DLC package for Borderlands 2, Captain Scarlet and her pirate's booty, and the other one is Glasspool, a reference to Deadpool. He even wields two blades, but he's not wielding two katanas like Deadpool, but instead two sabers. Later on in the DLC, you'll fight two tributes from Opportunity. One is named Axel, the other one is named Rose. If you're a fan of Guns N' Roses, you already put two and two together. That's right, Axl Rose. So there's been plenty of Hunger Game Easter eggs throughout this DLC, but the biggest one is at the end of the DLC when you go to the Groove of the Gobbler and fight the turkey final boss. In the middle is the cornucopia, which is a reference to the cornucopia from the Hunger Games, not to mention the pods you're about to come out of and how everyone is named Tribute of. So yeah, pretty obviously from the Hunger Games, and it's a really outstanding boss fight as well. Moving on to the main game, in Caustic Caverns, if you come to this specific area, you'll find a reference to Dark Souls, including a bonfire and a lone warrior. It's a bit of a difficult journey to get there, but as long as you're level 30 and above and have stacked up your health upgrades, you should be able to make it. There's also a badass rank that you need to unlock in order to get it. I use Zero's ability to regenerate health using his hologram in order to get here, but there are other ways you can get to this location. So here it is, and you can see the lone warrior along with the bonfire. If you wait long enough, there will be a hologram that appears as well. The same area has another Easter egg to another famous indie hit. It's a world-renowned video game that I'm sure you've heard of. It's a little thing called Minecraft, and if you come to this area, you'll see a bunch of blocks, and if you smash through them, you'll fight a series of very familiar enemies, and if you happen to kill them all, you'll get a special cosmetic themed after Minecraft for all your Vault Hunters. There are other cosmetics that make reference to other games. For example, Coltrane is a reference to Augustus Cole from Gears of War. Gage has a color coordination that makes reference to It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, the popular sitcom. Another color option is Cool Cool Cool, which is a reference to Abed's catchphrase from Community, and the phrase Streets Ahead, which was a term that Pierce Hawthorne tried to coin within the show to Jeff Winger's annoyance. And then we have Salvador, who has a green costume that reads Salvador Smash, an obvious reference to the Incredible Hulk from Marvel. Now, there's a hidden giant teddy bear in the wildlife preserve. If you happen to locate the missing pieces, which I'll show here of a smaller teddy bear, and place it in this very specific location, it will cause the crane to lift up and pick up this giant teddy bear. Unfortunately, you can't go into the location where it's being placed, but it's cool nevertheless. So if you come to the Highlands, you can find a double rainbow, which is a reference to the viral video made by Paul Vasquez. I really hope I'm pronouncing his name right. I have a hard time with names. Anyway, he filmed a double rainbow, which he described as the Eye of God, while outside Yosemite National Park. Interestingly, if Handsome Jack is dead, he won't call you on the radio to make reference to the double rainbow meme. Instead, Claptrap will talk to you, which is a bit strange, considering that Jack will still speak to you in certain missions despite being dead, but here, he doesn't.
Double rainbow, full on, all the way, perfect double rainbow, all the way, what does it mean? What does it mean? Double rainbow!
Now, in Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragon Keep, you'll fight some skeleton kings. However, each of these kings are actually a reference to something else. Nazia is an eye-shaped amulet used to protect against an evil eye. Seth, or Set, is the name of the Egyptian god of darkness and chaos. Kronos is the leader of the first generation of Italians in Greek mythos, not the Mortal Kombat character, which I thought it was. And Ali is an Arabic word for the meaning of heaven, sky, noble, and exalted. So, not wacky, but, some history there. Now, this reference is a bit obscure. In Tiny Tina's DLC, you'll come across this door covered in the darkness. If you destroy the darkness by conventional means, it'll lead you to a door that cannot be unlocked. However, if you destroy the door using a magic missile, which is a hand grenade mod that you get from killing sorceresses or killing the final boss of the DLC, it will open the locked door and give you a chest. So this is actually a reference to the 1996 comedy CD skit by the group Dead Alewives, again I hope I'm pronouncing that right, in which a Dungeons & Dragons player attempted to cast magic missile at the darkness. Again, thank you Borderlands Winky for this, but yeah, if you happen to fail, just restart the game and go back to it again. Now, in one of the weirdest Easter eggs, I know that seems like an oxymoron coming from Borderlands, but in Sawtooth Cauldron, if you destroy the barrels in this exact order, it'll trigger this obstacle course where Tennis will come and ride a fish over these very dangerous obstacles. It's so damn weird, but you also have to remember that you're out of bounds of the map, so if you do this and stay too long like I do, you won't get to watch the whole thing. But either way, I get to see most of it, and it's just so damn weird.
Buffing that Discord.
So the next Easter egg is a reference to Lord of the Rings. In the begin and starting area of Claptrap's home, you have to access True Vault Hunter mode to see this Easter egg, and it's also technically a challenge. When you come to his furnace, you'll see a ring. You're supposed to take this ring to the Iridium Blight, and you can't use fast travel. You have to travel there on foot, and it's an extremely grueling journey. I guess that's the point, and it just unlocks a few chests. It's not really that big of a deal, but if you want to do it, there are videos out there to show you how to do it, but I didn't do it because I did it once on the Xbox 360, and I am not reliving that nightmare. Now, I'm not sure what this is a reference to, but if you come to this section of the map in Tiny Tina's DLC, The Immortal Woods, you'll come across two chairs. If you rapidly interact with them, a table will materialize with a button, and if you press the button, I'm not really sure what happens because I stood there for 10 minutes and nothing happened, so someone told me this was a reference to Twin Peaks because it's just insanity, but I'm not really sure. So, if you know what it is, leave them in the comments below. Now, let's talk about another DLC from Borderlands 2, specifically Captain Scarlet. So when you get to the lighthouse section of the DLC, you'll find two familiar NPCs. They're hostile NPCs. You'll find one named Mr. Bubbles and the other one Little Sis. This is a reference to Bioshock, where Mr. Bubbles is the Big Daddies being referred to by the Little Sisters, and they will protect them violently if they come anywhere close. So they look a lot like the Alpha series instead of the Bouncers, but you know, whatever. So if you return to Roland's home base in Sanctuary, you can actually find his Facebook profile along with Lilith constantly stalking him. I mean, seriously, Lilith was seriously into Roland to the point that she left public messages about how much she loved him. But anyway, you can only see these on the PC version of the game, because on the Xbox One version where I played it, well, I played it on the Xbox One X, the image looks like a bunch of pixelated text. But I'll post a much more clear image of it on screen if I can find one. You can find a drawing of a future DLC character way before he was ever released. If you come to Ellie's garage, you'll find a drawing of Spatula Khan from Tiny Tina's DLC. You can find this character in the cave in the starting area way on the right side of the map. I'll show you where you can find him, and he is the greatest chef of Pandora. So it's very cool that Gearbox had all of this already planned out.
the greatest spatula, destroyer of men and the pleaser of the taste buds. I was greatest chef on Pandora until the weenie emperor rose to power. Do you follow the way of the greatest spatula? If you are afraid to eat something, don't eat it. If you are eating something, don't be afraid.
Now in the arid Nexus Badlands, you can find a hidden destroy Claptrap next to a vault chest in this specific area. So just follow this path and you'll locate this lonely broken Claptrap.
I need to build you an extra arm just for high fives. Attaboy! Yeah, I'm pretty good.
So older Borderlands fans will remember TK Baja. He was one of the first friendly characters you encountered in Borderlands. Unfortunately, in the zombie island of Dr. Ned, TK was zombified and turned into a horrible zombie-eaten monster who fed on thousands of brains that you had to mercilessly grind for hours. I mean, that mission was terrible. But if you come to his former house, you can actually find a box of brains hidden in the corner. So one of the biggest mysteries in Borderlands 2 was what's under Handsome Jack's mask. You find this at the end of the game when you steal his mask for yourself after you kill him. However, there is an NPC in Sanctuary after it goes into the air that will actually reveal this mystery way before you find out. As far as I can tell, this NPC is random and he doesn't appear in the same location. While it may seem that this NPC is rambling, if you keep talking to him, he actually does reveal what's underneath the mask way before you fight Handsome Jack. So, Gearbox actually reveals that information way beforehand, but they just trick the player by offering these outrageous conclusions as well. There is a hidden gun inside Sanctuary. If you come to Mad Moxie's bar and you donate about 150,000, I believe, she'll give you one of two guns, Moxie's Bad Touch or Moxie's Good Touch. This is limited to one character, and the reference this makes to, well, I can't say it unless I want to get demonetized or a yellow checkmark at best. By the quest board in Sanctuary, you'll find a unique NPC called Johnny Waffles. Apparently, according to the Borderlands wiki, a variety of Easter eggs were hidden at PAX East, and one of the rewards for finding them was the ability to appear in Borderlands 2 as an NPC, and this is the person, Johnny Waffles. He will also talk to Claptrap while he walks around, but I waited for 10 minutes and Claptrap never walked by him, so I wasn't gonna wait. You'll probably find another video that can do it, but yeah, there's Johnny Waffles. So around Sanctuary, you can find another NPC who makes reference to a famous or infamous meme, depending on how you look at it, from Skyrim. The meme being, "I used to be an adventurer like you, but I took an arrow to the knee." Huh. I remember that, dear God, it was annoying. And then she'll also make, or he, sometimes it's a he, will make reference to Echo Sims being art, a reference to video games being art, a debate that surges even today. Video games are art, end of story. Now throughout Borderlands, you can find these images making reference to Rich Flighter. According to Reddit, this is a reference to the outsourcing producer for visual design. I mean, it's not uncommon for developers and producers to infuse themselves into video games, so I'm going to say that this is correct. In addition, Claptrap's entire house is full of Easter eggs. I believe that the Claptrap laying down on the bed with the image above it is a reference to Titanic, where the main character Jack drew his love interest Rose, but I could be grasping at straws, but that's what I'm seeing here. And if you walk outside to Claptrap's welcome sign, it'll actually shift into various messages the longer you wait. I thought it was based on where you're looking at the sign, but it's completely random as far as I can tell in terms of timing, but it will change its greetings over and over again. Sometimes it'll be greetings, sometimes it'll be hateful messages. Perhaps one of the remaining mysteries in Borderlands 2, at least from what I can tell, is the unique DLC character DJ. Now DJ is just a uniquely named character within Flame Rock, and he does nothing, literally nothing. No one knows who he's a reference to or why he's here. But he's inside the town. He wears conventional items such as 3D glasses and headphones inside this medieval Dungeons and Dragons universe. And it's just so strange. No one knows who he is or what he's a reference to. I've checked everywhere. And I mean, here's my theory. I think Gearbox is just trolling us. They just decide to put this character in and see, hey, let's see if we can drive the community wild to see if they can figure out who this character is, when in reality he's just a goofy character we put into the game just because. At least that's my theory, because no one knows why he's here or what he does. Now, Claptrap isn't the last of the Claptraps. If you come to Sir Hammerlock's DLC in this groove, you can find a hidden Claptrap who's looking for a sacrifice. So you can see there is someone waiting to be sacrificed, and if you hit this lever here, a giant Claptrap will come out and then return to the darkness. It's actually pretty screwed up and absolutely terrifying. At least it's for me. I mean, a giant Claptrap, yeah, that's something you don't want in Borderlands. They're already crazy. A big one that can breathe fire is just even more insane. I know these Easter eggs are out of order, but if you come back to Ellie's garage, you can find a reference to the movie Seven, where Jack screams, "What's in the box?" Before you head into Bloodshot Stronghold, you can pick up a side mission from Tannis where you get to hunt down and kill basically parodies of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, including Splinter. I'll show you how to unlock Splinter, where you have to solve a light puzzle, but it's very simple. You'll fight Splinter and the Turtles, and then you'll get a cool reward.
I need to build you an extra arm just for high fives. Look out for the badass! Boop. Worry about your face! And dead.
Now, it wouldn't be a Borderlands game without some kid-friendly content, and you get to kill a parody of Snow White. In the side mission, The Cold Shoulder, you can actually fight a parody of Snow White. Once you head into her enclosed area, she's guarded by several small little people, so yeah, that's a reference to the Seven Dwarfs. Unfortunately, I already killed them prior to recording this, but inside you'll fight someone named Laney White, a reference to Snow White. And once you go deeper into the side mission, you can fight another parody, this time of Batman, with this person being named Rackman. Now inside the Bloodshot Stronghold, you can find a hidden bedroom. Now some say this is Axton's bedroom, but I think it's just an ordinary bounty hunter because he has a literal poster of Axton's bounty reward, and he doesn't seem to be the person who carries around a teddy bear. Again, I could be wrong about this, but it does seem like this is just a bounty hunter's place of rest. Now you can fight Donkey Kong inside Borderlands, so if you come to the Iridium Blight on True Vault Hunter mode, you can find King Mong, which is basically a reference to Donkey Kong. And this guy is not a pushover. Make sure you come with your A game because he will pummel you into the ground if you have weak gear. Next up, we have a reference to Dragon Ball Z. If you look at the gauges around Borderlands 2, you'll see that they're actually labeled, well, 800 and then 9001. This is a reference to the wrong English dub where Vegeta says it's over 9,000 when in reality he said it's over 8,000, but Borderlands decided to honor the original wrong English dub. If you come to this area in the dust, you can find a drawing honoring everyone's favorite Kung Fu Panda, Po. The mission, The Sword and the Stoner, that you get after completing the DLC, Tiny Tina's Escape from Dragon Keep, is a reference to the 1938 novel, The Sword and the Stone. And yes, there is a Game of Thrones reference because this is when the show used to be good before that horrible final season. So you get to fight King Joffrey and his knights. You'll first fight a bunch of low-level knights, then 2 honorary knights. One of them is named the Canine, which refers to the Hound, and the other one is Molehill, which I honestly don't know who that refers to. There's probably a character I'm just not remembering. You do get to fight King Joffrey, but you don't kill him, you just slap him a bit, and that's the end of the mission.
Good job. Now, since we're not in the business of killing kids, you're just gonna have to smack the arrogance out of him.
How dare you! No one slaps the prince. The prince may do as he likes.
Alright. Sounds like you broke his spirit. And maybe his jaw. Come on back whenever you're done with him.
I tell you what! I'm going to give you a present. After I raise my armies and kill your friends, I'll give you their heads!
And with that, that brings us to the end of this video, this very long Easter egg hunt for Borderlands 2. So if you liked it, please remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video. Stay awesome, everyone.